Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. So starting this video off with updates of Nick Walker, and man, I am impressed. As you guys know, I've been giving Nick a little bit of flack about his wider midsection, but honestly, since Nick made the announcement that he's working with Matt Jansen, I feel like his physique has been looking a lot better. But I do know that he's only been with Matt 1 or 2 weeks, so he hasn't really done anything significant. Maybe Matt is just better at taking angles. And you guys let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about Nick Walker's legs? Do you guys feel like they're still lacking a little bit behind the upper body? You know, does he need a little bit more sweep? Or do you guys see them as proportional? I still think the upper body is ahead a little bit, but this is looking better than last season. I'm excited to see Nick Walker next to Hunter Labrada, William Bonek at this year's Mr. Olympia. Nick made all of those improvements last year without an offseason. And hopefully the recent drama surrounding Nick Walker and his past supplement company doesn't affect his mental health going into this year's Olympia. But I'm excited to see Nick on stage. Now, I thought this was pretty interesting to share. A lot of people are actually saying this is a one-year transformation of Samson Dauda. But he said this was 10 weeks out from the Arnold Classic this year versus 11 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. The Arnold was around March this year, April. So this was around maybe February to October this year. Samson Dauda has done this in about 10 months. And as long as Samson comes in shape at this year's Olympia, this is going to be a very hard guy to beat. And not just for guys like Ian Valliere, Akeem Williams, Hadi Chupin, Brandon Curry. This is going to be a very hard guy for everyone to beat outside of Big Ramy. But Samson's ceiling is very high. Now switching over to Tonio Burton, these are the most recent updates of him ahead of this Legion Sports Fest. And Tonio is definitely a favorite going into this show. A lot of people are saying that Justin Rodriguez probably shouldn't be doing a show right now. You know, as we know, his last 2 showings weren't his best. So a lot of people are expecting him to come in off and pretty much have Tonio or Jamie the Giant getting the win. Now, this is just a small comparison, isn't necessarily sized 100%. But I do agree that Justin does look a little bit smaller than what we're used to seeing. But as you guys know, he is working with the guru, George Farah. So who knows, George has been doing a great job with these guys. But just from this, look how dense Tonio's back is. Now, even though Justin Rodriguez seems like he's going to come in a little bit smaller, also seems like he's going to come in very conditioned and dry as well. So this is going to be a great show, and I'll actually let you guys know my predictions at the end of this video. So switching over to 212, we have a light update from Keone Pearson. And going into this year's 212 Olympia, I'm excited to see Keone next to these guys. If you guys just follow Keone on Instagram, I'm telling you, this guy looks like an open bodybuilder. Keone looks 230, 240, and I want to see what he's going to look like next to Sean Clarita. But once again, Keone is a guy that sometimes gets into his head, so hopefully he's able to bring 100% conditioning to this show, because if Keone does, I mean, can he win it? And also in 212 news, recent updates from Lucas Coelho, seems like Rolly Winkler helped him with posing this back double bicep looks a lot better. Now, going into this 212 Olympia, a lot of people are talking about Kareth Bajo, Angel Calderon, but Lucas Coelho, Ole Crivy, these guys are good, man. Also, do not forget about Ping Young Long. A lot of people are not talking about Ping, and he brings a crazy wow factor. Now, I did want to share this. This is Urs Kalecinski and Brett Wilkin. Not too much to say about this, but we can see the crazy condition that Urs seems to be in about 10 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And Brett Wilkin should be about 5 weeks out from the Romania Pro, where he will be looking to earn a qualification for this year's Olympia. And as we all know, this year's Olympia is already very, very competitive, but we will have 2 more guys headed to the Olympia this weekend and still have about 3 or 4 more qualifications. Now, switching over to the winner of our Arnold Classic UK in the Classic Physique division this year, you guys are currently looking at Michael Daboul. And Michael did say he is going to do the Dubai Pro prior to this year's Olympia, so he is going for another pro win. Michael brings a crazy level of conditioning, man, and I'm excited to see how he's going to stack up at this year's Olympia. This guy has improved a lot just since this year's Arnold Classic. Now, also doing a show prior to this year's Olympia will be Tony Yoon. A lot of you guys may know him as Tony Duong. Now, this guy actually placed 2nd place to Urs Kalecinski at this year's Boston Pro. A lot of people actually preferred his physique over Urs, and some people went as far to compare some of his poses to Serge Nubret. But I'm actually not sure which show he's doing. He hasn't announced it yet. But hopefully he's able to get another pro win going into this year's Olympia. Now, switching over to a little bit of men's physique news, you guys are looking at Kyron Holden at 2 days out from the Legion Sports Fest. As you guys know, Kyron is one of my favorites in the men's physique division, top Olympian, and he will be going for a win this weekend at Legion. I actually believe he won this show last year. Kyron actually won 2 shows in like a span of 24 or 48 hours last year. It was crazy. But he also won this year's New York Pro. So I think he's going to rack up his second pro win this season going into this year's Olympia. So let's go ahead and get into my predictions for this weekend's Legion Sports Fest. And the guys that I have in the top 5 is going to be Tonio Burton, Jamie Christian, Stanley Longo, Justin Rodriguez, and Carlos Longoria. A lot of people don't have Carlos on their radar, but he's a very good guy. He actually placed 7th at the Texas Pro, beating out Phil Clahar as well as Joe Mackey. Now, starting off with my 5th place prediction, speaking of Carlos, I actually have him in 5th. This guy has a crazy physique. He isn't the tallest guy, maybe 5'8", 5'9", but this guy has crazy width. And honestly, I can see him placing as high as 3rd in this lineup, but I haven't really seen him compete enough to know if he's going to necessarily come in condition. Now, he does work with Patrick Tour, who is a top coach known for bringing these guys in, but definitely watch out for Carlos. He's definitely going to be in the top 5. Now, in 4th place, also coached by Patrick Tour, I have Stanley Longo. Now, initially, I actually had Carlos ahead of him, but looking at these pictures right now, I believe this is Stan at 2 days out, and Patrick is definitely filling him up. Also, Stan is an incredible poser, and you guys know me, I'm big on posing. I definitely think it should give guys an advantage in any lineup. And he also comes in very, very conditioned as well. This is going to be a great show of this Legion Sports Fest. I believe Stan could shock some people and place higher than 4th. And placing 3rd at the Legion Sports Fest, I have Jamie the Giant. Now, I know on paper this isn't the most stacked show, but this was actually kind of hard to do. A lot of these guys are very, very close to each other, and these placings could flip-flop. I've seen a couple of people that actually have Jamie winning the show, but I think he is going to bring his best package to date. And realize, guys, Jamie is 6'5". He has the ability to make these guys look like children. No disrespect to them, but I think Jamie will have a great showing at this show. Now, in 2nd place, I have Tonio Burton. And as I mentioned, this is going to be a very close show. I believe Jamie the Giant could edge out Tonio Burton. He's looking great. If Tonio comes in spot on, I believe he very well could win this show. Stanley Longo is looking incredible. He can definitely challenge these guys. Also, Carlos Longoria, even though I have him in 5th, he could very well place as high as 2nd. So this is going to be a great show, and hopefully Tonio comes in condition. I believe he could win. Now, I am going to play it safe and go with Justin Rodriguez for winning this show. I do think Justin is going to come in a little bit smaller than what we're used to seeing. But as we was looking at the Christmas tree comparison, I believe Justin is going to come in condition. And it seems like he has a level of dryness that some of the guys in this lineup might not necessarily have. But Justin Rodriguez is currently in top 3 for points. So I believe even if he plays 2nd, that will put him in the top 2, maybe even top 1. And Justin will be headed to this year's Olympia. But overall, I think Justin should take a break, because going into this year's Olympia, we aren't going to see the best Justin. You know, in the past year, he was constantly improving from the Arnold Classic to the Olympia and really peaked out of the Boston Pro, placing 2nd to William Bonet. But since then, he hasn't really been improving. And even if Justin Rodriguez wins this show, you know, he comes in condition, I don't think he will be better than what we seen earlier this year. I personally think he just needs to take a little bit of time off, go back to the drawing board, and come back better next year. You guys let me know what you think about that. And ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilder is this. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We do have the Legion Sports Fest this weekend, the Tsunami Pro. We also have Michael Crizzo at the Amateur Olympia this weekend. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an update. I'm Keone from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.